The Lindbergh baby kidnapping, America's crime of the century. New Jersey. March 1932. America was already struggling through the Great Depression. Folks were broke, scared, and desperate for hope. But there was one man the entire country looked up to like a straight-up superhero. Charles Lindbergh. The dude who flew solo across the Atlantic Ocean in 1927. Back then, Lindbergh wasn't just famous, he was massive. Movie star famous. Rock star famous before rock stars even existed. People called him Lucky Lindy. And when he married and Morrow Lindbergh, America treated them like royalty. Then they had a baby boy. Charles Lindbergh Jr. The nation adored that kid before he could even talk. But on one cold night in 1932, everything changed. And America would never forget it. The night the baby vanished. March 1, 1932. The Lindbergh family was staying at their new home in Hopewell, New Jersey. It was a huge estate sitting out in the countryside, quiet and isolated. Around 10 p.m., the nurse went upstairs to check on little Charlie. The crib was empty. At first she probably thought somebody moved him. But then panic hit. The window was open. Mud was on the floor. And sitting nearby was a ransom note. The baby was gone. Just like that. The entire house exploded into chaos. Charles Lindbergh grabbed a gun and searched the property himself while servants and police ran through the darkness yelling for the child. Nothing. No footprints leading far. No sign of the kidnapper. Only one creepy clue remained outside the house. A homemade wooden ladder lying beneath the nursery window. And one broken rung. That ladder would become one of the most famous pieces of evidence in American history. America goes crazy. The news spread like wildfire. Within hours, newspapers across the country were screaming headlines. Lindbergh baby kidnapped. America lost its mind. Crowds gathered outside the Lindbergh estate. Reporters swarmed the property non-stop. Radio stations interrupted broadcasts for updates. Everybody wanted answers. Because this wasn't just any family. This was the Lindbergh family. People couldn't believe somebody would target America's hero. But the kidnapper clearly wanted money. The ransom note demanded $50,000. Back then, that was a fortune. The note was strangely written with broken English and weird grammar. Detectives believed the kidnapper might be an immigrant. Still, nobody knew who they were dealing with. And time was running out. The mysterious middleman. Soon, a retired school principal from the Bronx named Dr. John Condon got involved after publicly offering to help communicate with the kidnappers. Crazy enough, the kidnappers actually answered him. Now the whole case started feeling like something out of a Hollywood thriller. Condon met a mysterious man in a cemetery late at night. The guy spoke with a heavy accent and called himself John. Imagine that scene for a second. Dark cemetery. Midnight air. A nervous old man holding ransom money while a shadowy stranger steps out of the darkness. Straight up nightmare fuel. The kidnappers promised the baby was alive. Lindbergh paid the ransom. About $50,000 in gold certificates. And then everybody waited for the child to be returned. But the baby never came home. The horrifying discovery. On May 12, 1932, over 2 months after the kidnapping, a truck driver pulled over near a wooded area not far from the Lindbergh home. What he found shocked America. The body of a small child. It was Charles Lindbergh Jr. The little boy had been dead for weeks. The nation was heartbroken. Parents cried listening to radio updates. Newspapers printed black borders around headlines like the country itself was in mourning. Even hardened detectives were shaken. America wanted justice. Badly. The hunt for the killer. The investigation became massive. Police tracked ransom bills across the country hoping somebody would spend the marked money. For over 2 years, leads went nowhere. Then in 1934, a gas station attendant in New York noticed something suspicious. A man paid for gas using one of the marked gold certificates. The attendant secretly wrote down the car's license plate number. That tiny move cracked the whole case open. Police traced the plate to a German immigrant carpenter living in the Bronx, Bruno Richard Hauptmann. When detectives searched his house, they found thousands of dollars from the ransom money hidden inside. And things got even worse for him. Investigators discovered wood in Hauptmann's attic matched the wood used to build the kidnapping ladder. It was like the puzzle pieces suddenly snapped together. Police arrested him immediately. And America watched every second of it. The trial of the century. The courtroom became absolute chaos. Crowds packed the streets every single day. Reporters fought for stories. Cameras flashed non-stop. Some people compared it to a modern celebrity murder trial. Everybody had opinions. Was Hauptmann guilty? Or was he being framed? Prosecutors said the evidence was overwhelming. The ransom money. The ladder wood. Handwriting similarities. Witness testimony. Hauptmann denied everything. Till the very end, he claimed he was innocent. But the jury didn't buy it. In 1935, Bruno Richard Hauptmann was convicted of kidnapping and murder. The following year, he was executed in the electric chair. And even after his death, debates continued for decades. Some people still believed there were unanswered questions. Others thought police got the right man from day one. But one thing was certain. America had changed forever. How the crime changed the country. The Lindbergh kidnapping terrified parents across America. If a rich, famous national hero couldn't protect his own child, who could? The case led to major changes in federal law. Kidnapping became a serious federal crime under what became known as the Lindbergh Law. It also transformed how media covered crime stories. For the first time, millions of Americans followed a criminal investigation in real time through newspapers and radio updates. The whole nation became emotionally invested. That's why people called it the crime of the century. Even today, nearly 100 years later, the Lindbergh kidnapping still stands as one of the most chilling and heartbreaking crimes in American history. Because at the center of all the headlines, investigations, and courtroom drama was just a little baby who never got the chance to grow up.